is going on, everybody? It is Wednesday, 12:30 p.m. Your boy was able to get a nice fresh cut today. I cut my own hair, which is a lot more convenient for me because it's easier for me to stay in the house and cut it and then watch the boys full time. So I was able to get that cut. Today, I want to talk to you all about mindless eating on the weekends. I know how easy it can be to fall off of your plan and your fitness goals at that point. It's actually kind of hard to stay on track if you keep mindless eating on the weekends, right? This is all something that happens, and it's only 2 days out of the weekend, but if you're doing it every weekend and every weekend and every weekend, there has to be some change, right? And then we don't want you to feel totally unsuccessful. I want you to feel totally successful. I want you to hit this. I want you to be able to feel good. And this is where these are some things that are going to be hard to hear, but it's also going to be hitting you hard, right? Because you need to hear the truth. And you need to hear why, right? Why are you mindless eating? If you don't know yet, well, here's a few tips. And here's a few things that can help you think about why you are mindless eating and then fix it so you don't end up doing that. All right, so you may be sticking to your current plan, your meal plan might be good, but you may just lose it all on the weekends. Because the weekends are full of fun, the weekends are something that we want to enjoy, we have family, we have friends, it is summertime here, and we want to do stuff. We want to just be out there, we want to be enjoying, we want some food. Everything involves food, right? Every fun time, every gathering, everything that we do, right? Remember, if you are here, hashtag I'm here. If you are catching the replay, hashtag replay. But as we continue, you probably aren't sticking to that meal plan on the weekends, right? And that's okay. But you may not be determined enough with your goal that you want to hit to actually hit that goal. So you have to ask yourself, are my goals specific enough? Are they time bound? Are they something that's going to be able to be achievable? Am I going to be able to do this? How is my plan going to help me do that, right? You may not even be logging or taking the time to log the food that you eat to see where you need to change things, to even see how many calories you are taking throughout the day, and then on the weekend, seeing if that changes. Because sometimes you may be eating very little on the weekdays, and then all of a sudden you can't resist any of those other foods on the weekends because you aren't intaking calories throughout the week. Like, you're barely taking any calories. So on the weekend, your body's like, let's eat. We need to get some food. We need to make sure we're not going to starve, right? So you aren't taking the time to see what you are eating, to see where you're eating too much of, see what you need to change in your overall diet to see your goals become achievable, right? So here's another thing. You're probably trying to cut out some type of macronutrient, and such as like no sugar or no carbs. And then when you see some type of a delicious sweet on the weekends, or when you're going out to eat with your friends, or when you're having a good time with others, you can't resist, and you eat 3 or 4 of them, and then now you're 6 donuts in, or you're like, oh my God, I couldn't stop. That's when you know your diet or the fad diet that you're working on is not good for you because you keep falling off of it, right? So you should be taking out a full macronutrient of your daily intake. You need to find where you need to look at. If it's too many complex carbohydrates, it shouldn't be a problem. If it's too many overly processed carbohydrates that you need to take out, that's where you need to stick to. Taking out some or eating less of those overly processed carbohydrates, right? So you need to pace yourself, right? You don't want to feel like a failure every weekend or every day that you're like, oh, I'm eating so well, and all of a sudden dinner comes by, and then, oh, I couldn't resist. I had to have all this food, right? So you're probably not eating enough throughout the day, and then all of a sudden you're overeating in the evening. Raise your hand. Are you there? Are you that? I used to do it. I used to do it all the time. I totally understand. I get it. Are you there? Are you doing that? Is that something that you need to work on? And that's somewhere where you can work on. You can do this every time you can. Keep working on what works best for you and what can help you stay on track, right? You can't stop eating and making sure you're cutting calories down too far, that you're starving yourself in order to hit your goals. Because at that point, you may not be able to control your urges for the weekends, right? And then all of a sudden, you're not eating enough. Then every day you're not eating enough. Then all of a sudden, on the weekends, you're just like, let me pile it on in. Let me pile it on in, right? Hashtag, ooh, you just said it. Yes, hashtag I'm here. Yeah, there you go, Kaylee. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. We're talking about mindless eating on the weekends. It's super easy to overcome this problem or this issue that you may be seeing. And we're going to go through some of those points here shortly. So you should realize that if you aren't eating enough, or you should realize that if you keep mindless eating on the weekends, something in your overall week diet has to change. And that could be that you are on some fad diet that's not giving you enough calories through the week, or you just know that you just usually eat a little here, a little there, you snack throughout the day and you think you're full, but all of a sudden you're only eating 800 calories a day, or you need to pace yourself and say, I'm going to have a little bit, but I want 1 instead of 5, right? If you have less than what you had before, you're winning, right? So, like I said before, pacing yourself, right? So number 1, allow yourself to eat things that you love and know how they fit into your overall diet on a daily basis. Right? In moderation, you are okay as long as it is fitting in your overall calorie intake, right? So if you are eating 1,300 calories a day, for example, which is pretty low, which isn't horrible, but it is low enough that may be why you're not seeing, that may be a reason why you're mindless eating through the weekends, right? Because your daily intake through the week is very minimal. So making sure that you're able to give yourself that grace, give yourself that time to say, I'm feeling for something sweet. What else can I eat? Ask yourself this question: what else can I eat before I go to the delicious cake, the delicious cookies, the delicious donuts, all those really high palatable foods that you want to avoid. So if you want something sweet, go for your complex carbohydrates first, which is your fruits. Go for those fruits. They have chocolate in them too. Like, you can get a dip in chocolate, you're still getting your fix, you're still going to feel a little bit more full. You're going to have micronutrients such as vitamins and minerals that you've eaten. So now you're going to be feeling more full, you're going to have more energy, and then you're not going to want to eat so much of the sweets later. I'm not telling you you can't have those things, but try to fix in some places. See what you can have before you have those things so that you feel better about the decisions that you make after eating those things, right? And then number 2, stop telling yourself that you can't have it. Just stop telling yourself that. You should be saying, I want some, and see if it fits into your overall daily intake, right? So if you are at 1,500 calories or 1,600 calories, is this 400 calorie cookie going to be able to fit into your overall diet, overall calorie intake, right? Now, if it's putting you over, then maybe only have a quarter of it. Now you're making better decisions. You're only having a little bit of it. You're having a taste. Now you're not going to feel as bad. And then you can have some for the next day, and then some for the next day, because you know it fits into your overall calorie intake, right? So number 3, forget all the other fad diets out there and just stick to the one that works best for you. And that means if I want to eat something, make sure it fits into my overall calorie intake, and see how it makes me feel when I do consume it. Did I feel good about the decision that I made, or did I feel horrible, like a failure? Did I fell off, like I've been gaining too much weight, like I just feel horrible about everything that I just ate? Those are things you need to realize and bring in and own in on and say, am I feeling this way? Or was I good and I felt good about the size? Or did I feel good even though I ate it? Did it affect me at all? Did I just say, I ate it, it's good, cool, now I have something tomorrow, right? Rather than, I just did so well, and then all of a sudden, I feel horrible, right? All of a sudden, I feel horrible. So I'm pretty good about logging, but never think to go back and look to see what I ate. Maybe this is something we can work on. That is definitely something we can do, Kaylee. So making sure that even when you look at just in the day, like at the end of the day, say, okay, well, I did feel pretty good about what I ate today. Where did I feel like I ate the worst? Or where did I feel like I didn't eat quite as well? So you can look and say, ah, there it was. So next time, instead of saying, "Oh man, it's what's happening? Like, how come I'm not seeing the results I want to see?" You can go back on that day and say, "Look, let's see. Well, I ate this, I ate that. Oh, there it is. I had the whole thing instead of just a quarter. So let me try the next time. If I'm going to eat it, let me just cut a piece off, put the rest wrapped away, put the rest away, and still have that piece. And then now you're eating only a quarter of it rather than the whole thing, and then you're going to feel a little better about the decision. So that's where you can see when you food log, oh man, where did I have too many? Did I have too many fats today? And what kind of fats did I have? So if it felt like you had way too many fats, if you're overeating on the fats, that could be the reason why you are seeing maybe no weight loss or no weight gain, or muscle, where you're not seeing as much muscle. I can't even talk. I'm losing a lot of my words today. Where you're not recovering fast enough on your strength, so you're a lot more sore. So at that point, you can say, well, instead of having 2 eggs, I need some more protein. So I'm going to have 2 eggs and then 2 egg whites. So instead of having an egg yolk, that's where I can get more protein in, but less calorie intake, right? So just simple things like that. I'm not saying that you totally have to change everything that you're eating, but just think about it in similar aspects on how you can change some of the areas that you are eating a little bit differently. So don't change everything up like crazy, but just change simple, like little things. Instead of those 4 eggs, having like 2 eggs and then 2 egg whites, or instead of having just fried potatoes, maybe add some veggies in there and saute those without oil or without pan, or just put it in the air fryer and see if that helps. Because now you have no fat, but you're going to have more veggies, and then you're going to feel a little better about the decision. So instead of having so many potatoes, have like 3/4 of the potatoes that you have for the morning, and then add in a 1/4 cup of veggies, and then put those to cook, and voila, you ate less potatoes, and then it took more calories from your complex carbohydrates, such as your veggies. So some simple things like that you can see in your food logging. That's why food logging is very important, and that you can go back and see like, oh man, I can fix this. Is this something that I do on a daily basis? Now, if I can change this on a daily basis, I'll probably see differences in where I'm eating and where I'm not feeling as lethargic, or where I'm feeling I need to eat more, right? So those are things that you can look at when you do food log. Food logging isn't always to show you what you're going wrong, right? It's to show you what I'm intaking on a daily basis, what you're intaking on a daily basis, to see where you can make small, simple switches. So that's just really easy, right? So forgetting about all those fat diets, because there's so many out there, remember they're all calorie deficits. Every fat diet that you see, it is eating less, right? And if you're already eating too little, you're probably in starvation mode and you're not really going to see anything. And if you do lose a pretty good and substantial amount of weight, you may end up seeing that come back in the future, and then all of a sudden you're back to square one again. So that being said, you need to figure out how many calories you should be eating and how many calories you are actually eating, right? How many calories you should be eating because of how active or sedentary you are, and how many calories you are actually eating per day if you are overactive and if you are sedentary. So if you're eating 2,000 calories a day, but you're sitting and you're maybe getting 1,000 steps a day, that may be where you need to fix. Eating a little bit less is okay. But if you are eating 1,700 calories and you are burning 1,700 calories, you may need to increase your overall calorie intake, because at that point, your body is just getting what it barely needs. You're still in starvation mode because your body is burning way more than what you are intaking, or the same amount, right? So eating a little bit more throughout the day or a little bit less, that's where you can see where your food logging comes in place, right? So it takes some slow adjustments, some easy adjustments, but it takes a process and it's going to take some time. So don't think and want to go to the quick fixes right away, because you won't. You'll probably see a quick fix and then all of a sudden you're back to square one. So take it slow, know it's a process, and make sure you take your time. All right, so hopefully this has helped you today on your weight loss journey or your fat loss journey or your strength journey. So either way, I hope you have a wonderful day. I love you all so much, and I'll see you all again tomorrow. Bye! Yes, I am.